I would say that the weather certainly didn't hurt. It was a beautiful summer day. Today, I think we had 6 or 8 inches of snow around. And we're to a whiteout conditions. It was pretty hard to count your feet, let alone birds. So this is probably pretty good conditions for counting birds. I'm looking forward to hearing, as I always do, the results of the counts, but I know that in the southeast corner alone, I have sneak preview, 24 species. In the southeast corner, which is usually the one that we rep the birds, so if you're getting 24 species in the southeast corner, you're doing very well. Can't wait to hear the rest of the counters. Now, for those who are counting, speaking of counting, 109th annual Christmas bird counts. Is that amazing? 109 years. Who was here the first one?
Sarah, yeah.
Everybody.
He's got everything. Yeah. Yesterday,
So now
the best line. 76 years and never a golden eye.
And I have to ask whether anybody see a partridge?
It's true, was there one this week? I was like, yeah, apparently there was.
Okay. And I'll bet there was a drummer's growing down at Grand River Plaza. And probably at least one kind of piping. And as for the Lord's leaping, we'll have to wait until you've had a few more glasses of water. Anyway, this is a wonderful thing. You all know the history of bird feeding. Back in the day, what you did in Christmas was not shoot as many birds as you do, which, thanks to the Audubon Society, there's a really great way you started more than 10 years ago. And also, a father of named Charles Rogers, who thought that why don't we count them instead of shooting them? So counting tradition has started. Then, and has continued to this day, there are hundreds of Christmas bird counts throughout the United States this month. But, and we like to say that New York starts a lot of things. It all started in Central Park in 1899. It's the oldest Christmas bird count in the country, which it shares with what other community? Princeton, New Jersey. So we're right in Princeton, New Jersey. But it's not just something to do with fun on a beautiful day. It's very important information, data that have become the city's sole source of long-range ornithological data, and scientists and amateur naturalists like use these tallies to learn about the migratory habits and the not-so-migratory habits of birds, the overall health of the environment. But most important, I think, it's a great source of joy for thousands of birders and nature lovers. So if you haven't spent a week in the woods, just feel free. We did spend an entire morning in our piece of country here in Manhattan. I want to take this opportunity to thank the people who have been doing this, the leaders this year. They've been the leaders for 109 years. The Audubon Society, both on a national an extraordinary nonprofit group that does so much for birds, from trying to get the tall buildings to turn on their lights at night so the birds are confident to fly into them, to working with us to build the country's first urban Audubon Center in Prospect Park, working with us to redefine our landscaping plans so they can do better habitat. And they have been great friends of ours, and I guess the most fun thing we did together is trying to get the building here on Fifth Avenue to reestablish the nesting place for terminal mobile. And John and I had this memorable moment where we were, this is a rather phony co-op on Fifth Avenue. We were asked to use the service entrance rather than coming in the front door. And the meeting rather than being held in the Cheryl's department was held in the pool room. But diplomacy prevailed, and the nest was allowed to go back. In fact, it was a very fancy structure for the nest. Sadly, we have yet to have the young successfully hatch from the nest, but we'll see. So anyway, I'm looking forward to the counts. Nothing has been revealed. And let me just say that we in the Parks Department are fully committed to doing the most we can to preserve habitat and enhance habitat all across the city. We are restoring wetlands, restoring meadows and woodlands. In fact, as part of 1 million trees, we are adding 2,000 acres of woodlands to the city. and we're doing as much as we can to preserve the other habitats. Some birds are woodland birds, as we know, some birds are meadow birds, and birds are shore birds. So we're working on all three fronts. It's our commitment to work with you, with all the members of the Audubon Society, and with the Audubon Society itself to make this a better city. I do want to thank a few people for today. Every year, we sort of take for granted that you can come in from a cold day and have some hot soup here in the Arsenal, but it all gets arranged by Joe Manelli and Gary Wasman, so please give them a big hand. Gary, as many of you should know, is like me. We're Reformed Rangers. We both started a Reformed school, then we were hired as and then eventually left the Rangers. I started 29 years ago, Gary shortly thereafter, and I've just worked 50 done. It's very well deserved. But I also want to thank another group of the current Rangers, the Urban Park Rangers, to continue to support the work. And I'm not a birder myself, in the sense I have largely identified about 15 or 20 species, which is not bad for a complete amateur. I can do the same with trees and the same with flowers, so I guess you can say I have a very thin layer of knowledge about the natural world. But it's now a pleasure to introduce a fellow with a very thick layer of knowledge, particularly about the avian world. I don't know if it's a rule that if you run the Audubon Society, you have to have the name of a bird as your name. But Marshall Fowle certainly did. It's now my great pleasure to introduce the president of the Audubon Society, who's been our wonderful partner for many years, John Wither.